Coach, just for starters, what has the mood been like in practice all week after the big win in the season opener?
Yeah, the mood's been great. I think too the thing you want to always teach players, regardless if they're veterans or rookies alike, you want to make sure that they're not getting complacent. And just because you won a big game doesn't mean that you can't slip up the next week. And so we're focused. If you talk to me on a Monday, hey, we're feeling good about ourselves. Everything's right with the world. But now we're back into reality where we realize that Tampa Bay's digested. It's out of our system. We're focused on Portland and a team that we know that coming on a road to come and beat us, if we're not prepared, we can easily slip up, and that's the last thing we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So we're focused and we're ready to go.
Speaking on Portland, what are you doing to prepare the DBs for the likes of Tom Gibson and Jared Perry, two of the top receivers in the league right now?
Yeah, those are good receivers. I think they're going to be, they might dress a couple more. We know that Truesdale went down. They had a couple injuries, but, there's always signing to good players. And I think Portland is going to they're going to get on rhythm. The biggest difference in any level of football is always week 1 to week 2. You realize what you have week 1 and you start to prepare a little bit more. You start to realize what you did wrong in week 1. So week 2, especially going on the road where they can kind of come together and hopefully look out to take us out. We know they're going to be hunting for us. So we're just making sure that the players understand and they're aware of who they're about to go against, and we're teaching them all the schemes that are going to be implemented for this week to get a victory.
So what do you say to a team like yours that demolished their opponent last week and then come into this week playing a team that wasn't able to put up many points, to make sure that they don't get complacent or overconfident?
Well, you want to respect your opponent, and I think to make sure that people don't get complacent or they don't overlook an opponent, you want to make sure that they're understanding that, look, at any given Sunday, right? That's the way of the beast. This is not the NBA or the Major League Baseball where there's a 4 or 5 game series in the playoffs. You can be one and done if you don't show up and give your A game. So for us, we want to make sure that we're on point, and that's by respecting our opponents, that just because maybe the film isn't the quality that you might think it is because of how Portland performed versus Arizona, well, let's look at the schemes. Let's look at what they're trying to do, because eventually they're going to get that stuff right. They're going to put the right people in the right place. And I know Coach James. Coach James coached with me and Matt Salk. We're very aware of how good of a coach he is. So he's going to have those guys prepared, so we want to respect them. And by respecting them, that means we're going to prepare like we're playing the world champions.
Speaking on the offense, you guys lead the league right now in total offense and are dominating on third downs. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I just think preparation. Again, that's only one game, and so when you have a good first game, you're always going to be dominating the stats. To be determined if we're going to hold on to that. I'd like to think that we are, but we're going to make sure that we're putting ourselves in positions of success by really working hard during the week. And I think the more adverse situations you put your team in Monday through Friday, the better prepared on Saturday night they'll be.
Now for a player highlight, we'll talk about Greg Carr. I know we're just entering week 2 here, but Carr is tied for the league lead with 4 touchdowns and had over 100 yards receiving in the opener. He looked great in practice today. What are your thoughts on him early on here? And do you feel like he is a player that could be an MVP in this league?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Greg Carr, guy got the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, voted team captain this year. The guy's a mature adult. He's an individual that really gives back to his team. It's someone to emulate. And I think the younger guys see that. He's a great big brother to these guys, but at the same time, he's a great football player. 7 catches for 113 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's a big deal. And I think no matter what level of sport you're playing on, he was the go-to receiver, obviously, for our first game. If that continues, absolutely. I think right now he could be the MVP of our team. I think Randy Hibbert could be the MVP of the offense. These are guys who have been in the system for quite some time now, and they really play well off each other. But I think they not only do they lead off the field, they lead by example on the field. Just with their work ethic and how they prepare and approach the game. He's a coach's dream, and I'm really glad he's on our team.
And finally, Coach, last year's season opener ended in heartbreak in the final seconds to Philly. What can the fans expect in the season opener this year, the home opener? Yeah,
last year, losing the home opener on the last play of the game, that was brutal. That was gut-wrenching. It's something that I thought about all year. I want to give the fans of Orlando something to cheer about. And I know that, we lost 4 games on the last play of the game last year, so even those are still exciting. But at the end of the day, I want our fans coming out on top. I want them leaving the Amway Center feeling good. I want them to know that they're, watching a winning team, and we really believe we have a great team this year. Now, how great is to be determined, but the first home game, we want to make sure that we set the tone for the league. We want to make sure that we set the tone for the home opener, and we want to make sure we set the tone for our fans that we're going to win at home no matter who plays us.